weren't there when I needed you the most. Baby, don't get too close. No text, no calls. I don't want your phone. Heartbreak hotel is what I've been calling home. I just checked it last night, mixing the pain of heartbreak with the Sprite. I swear you are the worst mistake of my life. Yeah, you were always too high off the lines. Man, I should've saw the signs, yeah. And baby, it hurt when we weren't together. You looked in my eyes and said we'd be forever. Now I know it's lies, you're as cold as the weather. And now I'm doing better. You know that you're wrong, and I was right. You burned my heart right out of my chest. Baby, you know that it's over. Goodbye, and I don't wanna hear your lies, cause you know that it's over. Don't try to get closer. Every time you break my heart, it gets colder. Trying to say I changed, now I just got older. Don't try to come back now, baby, it's been over. She texting me, it's not over till it's over. Say it once again, maybe say it when you're sober. Whisper in my ear, baby, come a little closer, cause I've been taking meds, I'm too hungover. She says she want me.
Yo, what is going down, guys? Clay here, and today I'm back with you guys with a new video. And I know anyone who saw the last video will think like, dude, where have you been for the past 8 months? Yeah, just going back into that 8 months ago when I made that video, I was definitely just trying to do too much in the current situation that I was in. About to go into 2 surgeries, just kind of like my whole routine in my life just kind of being switched off into something more still, I guess. I'm gonna go over like basically my journey so far through one of the worst lifting injuries I think has ever happened. So definitely number one though is the leg press, when you pressing up and then your knee just, shatter. That's like number one, but I think I'm top 5 for sure. I think I'm definitely top 5 in the worst lifting injuries ever. So, yeah, we're gonna kind of go through a little progression of some just past videos and kind of just gonna do a voiceover of what I did and, yeah, where I, started the journey, being definitely like the best shape of my life without a doubt. And then, 6-7 months later, getting into, not necessarily the worst shape of my life, but losing a lot of muscle and, yeah, where I am now. So without further ado, let's run it back a little bit. So we are back at where the crime scene occurred. I should throw up some crime scene tape because of how brutal this injury was. But as you can see, the bar is kind of set up. It's a janky bench to begin with, so the bar is kind of set up behind me. So I had to set it up pretty low in order for me to get the rack off properly, especially with 185 pounds. So yeah, the rack was definitely lower than what I show here, but as you can see, it still is low. So like, imagine just trying to rack that and nothing being there. So yeah, I dislocated both my shoulders, missing the rack. So yeah, this is the only picture I took during that day. This is just me waiting in the ER for my right shoulder to be put back in place. The left one popped back in within like a minute or two, but then the right one just wasn't going anywhere. My dad tried to put the right one back into place, just wasn't budging. Probably a stupid idea anyway. But yeah, I was waiting in the ER for like 3 hours. It started just killing. That's what the main question I get is like, oh, like how bad did it hurt? And I was like, dude, I was just in fucking shock. Like I didn't feel the pain until like hours after I actually did it. Until I was just waiting in the ER, and I was like, dude, like give me the ketamine, give me whatever, just knock me out so you can put this motherfucker back into place. But yeah, so these are the only basically 2 pictures I took. This is like the day after, and yeah, I just knew at that point I did something pretty bad, and I was pretty not looking forward to the results. So I get the MRI results a few weeks later, and I just got the one in my right arm because that's the one that I had to go to the ER for. And yep, tore my labrum. It was a full labrum tear from like anterior to posterior. So like, it was basically like a terrible, basically one of the worst labrum tears you can have. And it was weird because I didn't really feel that bad, but I guess it was. So yeah, I definitely had to fix it. There's really no way you can not have surgery on it. So people always ask me, they're like, I always tell people, I'm like, dude, like I literally was in the best shape of my life before this happened. And so like, this is the picture, like no filter or anything. Like I literally was debating whether to compete. Like I got to this physique with like no cardio, no tracking. I was like, shit, might as well track a little bit, do a little bit more cardio, and get like even more shredded, and just like see what I can do with it. So like mentally, it was just a mind fuck because I was literally like considering it. So this is the pre-surgery one physique. Yeah, it was, just kind of soaking it in, realizing, I'm gonna lose a lot of this. So, fuck. So first surgery in the books, July 14th. Yeah, so basically, that's what happened. 3 months later, this is what I looked like without a single, ounce of weight. And then, I don't want to bore you with basically what I did. I was just doing physical therapy, all throughout those, 6 months. And basically from that point on, from October till about, I would say about March is when I, first picked up a weight. So I'm going to save you guys the boring time of just doing physical therapy and a ton of walking, because that's basically the only exercise I could have done. And I'm going to speed you up to what's going on now. So right after that injury happened, man, it just put me in such a mental funk. Going from the best you ever looked and also being in the best mental space that you've been in for a very long time to having something so traumatic happen. And like, it definitely put in perspective though how much emphasis I put on how I looked. Going through this process, I've had to not care as much how I looked and had to focus on other aspects of my life, which has been, a blessing in disguise, because, it was something I would struggle with a lot, just, being self-conscious and being, caring a lot about what other people thought I looked like. And I still do. And I think it's, not necessarily like the worst thing to care about how you look, because, one of the main factors of or driving motivation of being more healthy is to be more confident about yourself, to look in the mirror and be confident in what you see. But it definitely, like, for me, obviously being in decent shape to begin with, it definitely took less emphasis off myself and more onto like, okay, what can I use this process for in order to help someone and help other people? And that's why I'm, making this video right now, to share my journey, and hopefully anyone who's going through any type of, not necessarily injury, but just a hard time in their life. And it was definitely, I made, I think, the most of it on top of, a pandemic and, other things. But it was just like, this is what's happening right now. Obviously, do I wish it wouldn't have happened? Of course. I think I'd be stupid to say that I wish it did happen. I had a choice to make. Was I going to let this affect me negatively or positively? And, for the most part, I think it, was a positive experience in my life, even though it was, a negative outcome of something I didn't want to happen. But, it was just, gave me a new perspective on training, but also just, where I want to take my life. I hope to share this, this video and stuff, just to kind of say that, I will be putting out more videos. I will be sharing more of my life, and also just videos that hopefully you can get some value from, whether that be in the form of, nutrition advice. I got recipes on recipes coming up, full days of eating, that kind of thing. Also just, articles. I want to start up the Cost of Greatness website. I already have the domain and everything, getting that set up. And I think that's kind of, the name that I want to, bring out to the table, the Cost of Greatness. Clay Costner, Cost of Greatness. I think it's a cool name. But yeah, I think it's kind of has a good derivative. It has a good meaning to what having good fitness costs. And it's not just what the reward of having good fitness does for your health, your looks. It's about what it does for everything else in your life. And I feel like so many people miss that aspect of, they'll look back and they'll be like, okay, what if I did take care of myself? Where could I have been? Or where, what hurt could I have, avoided in my life if I just would have, took Clay's advice, or just anyone's advice, in general. And, it doesn't have to be just from me, obviously. I have just a good aspect on sustainability, practicality, how to make it, just fit your life. Hopefully this video isn't too long, too boring, too, I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys did, please drop a like. I really appreciate it. Hope to bring one video per week for the next forever. we'll see about that. On the lookout for the Cost of Greatness website coming up. Follow me on Instagram, and hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.